this car, when you start driving, you do sit up and say, this is the company that made the GTR, right?
Okay.
This is the company that made the GTR. Because when I started driving it, you forget that this is a 3-cylinder that has got only 163 horsepower. It feels good to drive. That engine does better than whatever. It might be that as well. That to one degree, it is because you saw 163 horsepower and you thought this is going to be sluggish. But then when you start driving, it's got 300 newton meters of torque. So it's plenty of torque.
Yeah.
So it gets moving quickly. It doesn't feel big, heavy.
Right.
It gets going. So it's good to drive. You feel that, that this is special, what they managed to achieve. And this is enjoyable. Even in the way it steers, it's riding on 20-inch wheels. So my flag itself was 20-inch wheels is a bad idea any which way. So I was looking out for that as well. How will the ride be? But it works.
And monocoque.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the X-Trail was always a monocoque. This is also a monocoque. And it's got multi-link rear suspension. Front is independent. So it rides and drives really nicely. So it feels special in that way.
Right. So basically you're saying the car itself is not a poor experience, but where the conversation usually starts, which is the spec, which is the promise, which is the first sense of, wow, that looks so interesting, I should drive one. At that point, they've already put themselves on the back foot.
Yeah. So until you get in and drive, you will always just think that this is...
So tell me something, should they have designed the event so that you drove the car first and discussed it later? Because the usual format is they tell you about the car and then you drive it. In this case, it sounds like they should just let you drive it first.
You know what, now that I've built up that little bit, let me bring it back down. Okay? Because I didn't get into the cabin part of it, the rest of it, because that, again, just stops this conversation.
No, that I got a clue from because you said no leatherette, no ventilated seats, no powered seats.
No, wait.
Oh, it gets worse?
Wait. This is a 7-seater. At worst, it would be 5 plus 2. Correct? It's not even that. It's a 5-seater. Those third row of seats, the third row, is not usable. It is just not usable.
Why not? If I don't like my friends, then I can put them in.
It's not even a question of friends. You'll have to put kids there and kids that you don't like.
Oh, wow.
It's unusable.
Okay.
Right? It's really... I couldn't make sense of it. Access to the third row is poor. The middle row doesn't tumble forward. It just folds a little bit and then you slide it forward. That's it. You kind of crawl into the rear. And just trying to get back to this, way back, the Datsun Go Plus?
Yeah.
I remember the Datsun Go Plus, the third row of the Datsun Go Plus. If you Google Datsun Go Plus third row images and just look for some of the images there, you'll get the idea of what this feels like. It's just inconvenient.
Ouch.
And if you were to sit, and why am I saying that it's not usable at all? If you have anybody sitting in the third row, the second row is done.
It's a sliding second row seat.
You have to push it all the way forward, and literally your knees, you're almost into the back of the front seats. So I set it up that way so that I could sit on the third row. Then I went and sat in the middle, and
you're 5'6".
Yeah.
Oh, this is not sounding good at all.
And the seat back is short, headroom isn't much. So that third row is just, it might work for another market where you're just saying occasionally kids are going to sit there, whatever. A 7-seater in our case, in our country.
And we are used to 7-seaters that have space in 3 rows now. Especially at 40 lakh rupees.
There are so many cars that you could get for less than 40 lakh rupees.
Yeah.
Now, if you were to look at this as a competitor to the Jeep Meridian, to the Skoda Kodiaq, on what front does it match up?
It's Japanese.
That's not a parameter on which you can compare them.
Hello? Have you seen how many people just...
Because the others are not Japanese, no?
So what difference does it make? People defend Japanese products anyway. So they'll defend the Nissan? Oh no, they don't defend Nissan. That's the one exception. Sorry. I have no
People
argument.
don't defend Nissan.
This clip is actually from a much longer video which is on our main channel, which is called MotorInc. Why don't you visit us there? This idea in more detail over there with my great friend Kartikeya. You like him, right?